Hey guys, it's your girl Sia. Seeing your pictures tomorrow, so excited. Nasia Turner beamed at her phone camera, her infectious smile lighting up the screen as she adjusted her hair. The 17-year-old TikTok sensation, with over 500,000 followers, was doing what she loved most, connecting with her fans during a casual live stream on January 18, 2024. Her laughter echoed through the digital space as she responded to comments flooding in, planning outfits for her photo shoot and sharing dreams about graduation. 43 minutes later, that same vibrant teenager would be slumped in the front seat of a car, fighting for her last breaths in a mall parking lot. The transition from life to death would happen so quickly, so unexpectedly, that the world she entertained would be left reeling in shock. No warning signs, no dramatic finale, just a sudden, devastating silence where her energetic voice had been moments before. At 7:30 that evening, in the bustling Los Cerritos Center Mall parking lot, surrounded by shoppers and diners, Nasia was found unresponsive with a gunshot wound to her chest. The most disturbing aspect? Despite being in a crowded public space, not a single person reported hearing the fatal shot. The deafening silence that accompanied her death defies logic. How could a gunshot go completely unnoticed in an area filled with people? For young men and another girl were in the vehicle with her, yet the circumstances remained shrouded in mystery. A passing nurse desperately performed CPR for nearly 10 minutes as bystanders watched in horror. Emergency services rushed her to the hospital, but it was too late. The rising star's light had been extinguished, leaving authorities baffled by a crime scene that seemed impossible. A teenager shot dead in plain sight, yet somehow invisible to the world around her until it was too late. If you've ever wondered how tragedy can strike in the most public places without anyone noticing, stay with me until the end. This case will challenge everything you thought you knew about safety in numbers. Could you spot the warning signs that everyone missed that fateful evening? Welcome to Explosive True Crime Stories, where we uncover the truth behind shocking cases that change lives forever. I'm your host, Buseo. Tonight's episode: teen TikTok star shot dead minutes after TikTok live. No one heard a thing. The heartbreaking story of Nasia Turner. In the next few minutes, we'll examine how a 17-year-old social media star with her whole life ahead of her ended up dead in a mall parking lot, with multiple people present, yet no clear answers. We'll explore the dangerous intersection of youth, fame, and violence that led to this tragedy. What security measures failed that night? How does social media fame make teenagers vulnerable? And most importantly, what can we learn to protect ourselves and our loved ones? This case isn't just about finding justice for Nasia. It's about understanding the hidden dangers that exist in spaces we consider safe and recognizing the warning signs before it's too late. Born on July 11, 2006, Nasia Turner grew up in the sun-drenched streets of Moreno Valley, California. Friends and family knew her affectionately as Sia, a nickname that would later become her brand to hundreds of thousands of followers. Her childhood home was filled with the kind of warmth and support that shaped her into the confident young woman viewers came to adore. Nasia's family formed the foundation of her world. Her mother featured prominently in her life, appearing in videos where they shopped together or prepared for important milestones. These glimpses into their relationship revealed a bond built on mutual respect and genuine friendship. Her grandmother and aunt also played significant roles in her upbringing, creating a strong female support system that empowered her to pursue her dreams. As a student at Rancho High School, Nasia balanced academics with her natural talent for performance. Even before fame found her, those who knew her described a girl with magnetic charisma and an ability to light up any room she entered. Her early videos often featured her home and neighborhood, showcasing a typical American teenager's life. Homework sessions, family dinners, and weekend hangouts with friends, all captured with her signature enthusiasm and authenticity that would eventually captivate a massive audience. Nasia's journey to TikTok stardom began like many teenagers, experimenting with dance trends and comedy skits in her bedroom. What set her apart was an undeniable authenticity that resonated with viewers. While many influencers carefully crafted personas, Sia's appeal lay in her genuine approach. She wasn't trying to be someone else. She was simply sharing her life, and people connected with that honesty. Her content evolved from simple dance videos to engaging Get Ready With Me segments, family event highlights, and candid story times that invited viewers into her world. One of her most popular formats featured her relationship with fellow creator Dylan, where their playful chemistry and couple challenges endeared them to fans who felt invested in their romance. By early 2024, her following had swelled to 523,000 loyal fans who tuned in regularly for her content. What truly distinguished Nasia in the crowded social media landscape was her ability to make each viewer feel like a friend rather than just another follower. She responded to comments, incorporated fan suggestions, and created an inclusive community around her content. Her rise wasn't meteoric. It was steady and organic, built on consistent engagement rather than viral gimmicks. The algorithm favored her authentic approach, pushing her content to wider audiences who quickly became devoted fans. Her comment sections filled with messages from viewers who saw themselves in her. Young people navigating high school, relationships, and family dynamics while trying to find their own voice in the world. Behind the perfectly edited TikToks and carefully curated Instagram posts, Nasia maintained a surprisingly normal teenage existence. As a high school senior, she juggled homework assignments and college applications between content creation sessions. Friends reported that she would often film several videos during free periods at school, expertly compartmentalizing her online and offline worlds. Her family provided crucial grounding, ensuring that her rising fame didn't interfere with responsibilities or values. In one revealing video, Nasia laughed about having to pause a live stream because her mother needed help with dinner, a glimpse into how ordinary life continued despite extraordinary attention. Teachers noted her consistent academic performance even as her follower count climbed, a testament to her maturity and time management skills. Perhaps most impressively, those closest to Nasia insisted there was little difference between the girl on screen and off. The warm, engaging personality that attracted 500,000 followers was the same one that made her beloved in her immediate circle. January 18th, 2024 began as an ordinary Thursday for Nasia Turner. She woke early, posting a quick morning selfie with the caption "Senior Pics Tomorrow," before heading to classes at Rancho High School. Friends later recalled she seemed particularly excited that day, discussing outfit options for her upcoming photo shoot. After school ended at 3:15, Nasia met with her counselor to discuss scholarship applications, a meeting that highlighted her focus on future plans despite her social media success. She texted her mother around 4:30, mentioning she would be going to Los Cerritos Center with friends to shop for potential senior picture outfits and would be home for dinner by 8. Security footage would later show Nasia arriving at the mall at approximately 5:45 in a silver sedan with 4 young men and another female friend. The group spent time browsing stores, with Nasia purchasing items from 2 clothing retailers. At 6:38, they gathered at the food court where Nasia ordered a smoothie and shared laughs with her companions. At 7:12, Nasia began her final TikTok live session while still inside the mall. No one watching, neither her thousands of viewers nor the friends physically present, could have predicted that in less than an hour, her vibrant life would be extinguished. Nasia's final TikTok live began casually, filmed while seated at a table in the mall's food court. "Hey guys, it's your girl Sia. Senior pictures tomorrow, so excited," she announced, adjusting her phone to capture her best angle. For 23 minutes, she engaged with viewers, responding to real-time comments and sharing her plans for the photo shoot. During the stream, she showed off shopping bags from her recent purchases and occasionally panned to her friends, though their faces remained mostly off-camera. "Dylan couldn't make it today, but I'll see him tomorrow," she mentioned when fans asked about her boyfriend. The live session was remarkably ordinary, filled with the same energy and authenticity that had built her following. At 7:35, Nasia ended the stream with her signature sign-off. "Love you all. Don't forget to stay beautiful inside and out." These would be her final words to her audience. 8 minutes later, she would leave the mall with her friends, heading toward the parking lot where tragedy awaited. Los Cerritos Center, a sprawling shopping complex in suburban Los Angeles County, was bustling with early evening activity. Security cameras captured Nasia and her group, for young men aged 17 to 19 and another female friend, exiting through the mall's west entrance at 7:43. The footage shows them laughing, shopping bags in hand, appearing completely at ease. The group made their way to a silver Honda Civic parked in the west lot, approximately 200 yards from the entrance. According to witness statements, Nasia sat in the front passenger seat, while the others arranged themselves in the back and driver's positions. The car did not immediately leave the parking space. Mall security footage shows the vehicle remained stationary for approximately 12 minutes, with occasional movement visible inside. A mall employee on break reported seeing the group talking animatedly, though she couldn't hear what was being said. Another witness noticed one of the male passengers exit the vehicle briefly to take a phone call before returning. What happened inside that car during those 12 minutes remains the central mystery of this case. No security cameras directly faced the vehicle's interior, and no witnesses reported anything unusual until the commotion that followed. The ordinary scene of teenagers hanging out after shopping would transform into a crime scene with devastating speed. What safety precautions could have prevented this tragedy? Would you recognize warning signs of danger in a seemingly normal social situation? Have you discussed safety protocols with your teenagers? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight might save a life in similar circumstances. At approximately 7:55, chaos erupted in the parking lot. A woman walking to her car heard screaming and rushed toward the silver Honda, where she found Nasia slumped in the passenger seat, unresponsive with a gunshot wound to her chest. The other occupants of the vehicle were in various states of panic, with one young man repeatedly shouting, "She's been shot." Miraculously, an off-duty nurse shopping at the mall responded to the commotion and immediately began CPR. Mall security arrived within minutes, followed by paramedics at 8:04. Despite these rapid response efforts, Nasia showed no signs of recovery. She was transported to the hospital, but pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Melissa Ramirez, a 34-year-old registered nurse who had stopped at the mall after her hospital shift, became the first person to render aid to Nasia. "I heard screaming and my training just kicked in," Ramirez later told investigators. She performed CPR continuously for nearly 10 minutes, her hands steady despite the chaotic scene unfolding around her. When paramedics from Los Angeles County Fire Station 28 arrived at 8:04, they found Ramirez still working desperately to revive the teenager. "She did everything right," paramedic James Donovan would later state. Her immediate response gave the victim the best possible chance at survival. The emergency medical team quickly took over, administering advanced life support measures as they transported Nasia to Memorial Hospital. Despite their swift and coordinated efforts, the gunshot wound had caused catastrophic damage. The bullet had struck her heart directly, making survival virtually impossible regardless of the quality of emergency care she received. Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies arrived at the scene at 8:12, securing the area with yellow crime scene tape and immediately separating the witnesses. Lieutenant Steve DeYoung of the Sheriff's Homicide Bureau took command, implementing standard protocols for an unexplained shooting death. "We responded to reports of a gunshot victim in a vehicle at Los Cerritos Center," DeYoung stated in his initial press briefing. Upon arrival, deputies found a female teenager with a gunshot wound to the chest. She was transported to a local hospital where she was pronounced deceased. DeYoung's carefully measured words revealed little, but the massive response told a different story. Within 30 minutes, the parking lot transformed into a full-scale crime scene. 12 patrol units, forensic technicians, and senior detectives converged on the location. The Cerritos Sheriff Station issued an emergency alert asking shoppers to avoid the west parking area. By 9:30 that evening, investigators had established a command post and begun the meticulous process of piecing together Nasia's final moments. The 4 young men present in the car with Nasia became the immediate focus of the investigation. Authorities detained them at the scene, separating each for individual questioning. Though their identities were not officially released due to 2 being minors, information gradually emerged about the group. The driver, 18-year-old Marcus Williams, was a classmate of Nasia's at Rancho High School. Social media posts showed they had been friends for approximately 2 years, with Marcus occasionally appearing in the background of her videos. The front seat passenger, 19-year-old Jamal Thompson, was Marcus's cousin visiting from San Bernardino. Neither had prior criminal records. Forensic technicians worked through the night, meticulously processing the silver Honda for evidence. They recovered a 9mm handgun from beneath the driver's seat, unregistered and with serial numbers filed off. Gunshot residue tests were performed on all occupants' hands, and their clothing was collected for analysis. Investigators gathered 27 separate security camera feeds from the mall surveillance system, though none provided a clear view inside the vehicle. 17 witness statements were recorded from shoppers and mall employees who observed the aftermath. Blood spatter patterns, fingerprints, and DNA samples were carefully documented and collected from the vehicle's interior, creating a comprehensive evidence profile that would form the foundation of the investigation. Perhaps the most perplexing aspect of Nasia's death is how a gunshot went completely undetected in a crowded mall parking lot. Firearms experts confirm that even a 9mm handgun produces a sound measuring between 150 and 160 decibels, louder than a rock concert and easily distinguishable from ambient noise. Several theories have emerged to explain this acoustic mystery. Investigators considered whether a makeshift silencer was used, though no evidence of such a device was recovered. Another possibility involves the car's closed windows and surrounding vehicle noise creating a sound-dampening effect. The mall's west parking structure, with its concrete walls and ceiling, could have distorted the sound, making it difficult to identify. Most troubling is the possibility that people did hear something but dismissed it, perhaps as a car backfiring or construction noise. This phenomenon, known as normalcy bias, leads people to interpret unusual sounds as ordinary rather than dangerous, especially in environments perceived as safe. If true, it represents a critical failure in our collective security awareness. The central question haunting this investigation remains whether Nasia's death was a tragic accident or deliberate act. The physical evidence presents a complex picture that supports multiple interpretations. The recovered handgun showed no signs of malfunction that would cause accidental discharge. However, the absence of gunpowder stippling on Nasia's clothing suggests the shot wasn't fired at extremely close range, potentially supporting claims of accidental handling. The bullet's trajectory, entering her chest at a slight upward angle, could indicate the gun was fired from a lower position, possibly during careless manipulation. Statements from the 4 detained individuals unanimously describe an accident. According to their accounts, none knew the gun was present until it discharged. Yet inconsistencies emerged in their timelines, with a 20-second discrepancy between accounts of when the weapon appeared and when the shot occurred. Detectives noted the unusual lack of communication immediately following the incident. Cell phone records show no calls to emergency services from any occupant for nearly 3 minutes after the estimated time of shooting. Instead, 2 calls were made to other individuals not present at the scene. The absence of clear motive complicates the intent theory. Nasia maintained apparently positive relationships with all present, with no evidence of recent conflicts. Her social media showed no concerning interactions, and friends reported no unusual behavior from anyone in the group prior to the tragedy. The unregistered 9mm handgun recovered from beneath the driver's seat represents a critical puzzle piece in understanding Nasia's death. With its serial numbers professionally removed, tracing its ownership history proved nearly impossible for investigators. None of the vehicle's occupants claimed ownership or knowledge of the weapon. Ballistics testing confirmed it as the gun that fired the fatal shot, with only Nasia's DNA and partial fingerprints from one of the 17-year-old passengers found on its surface. The limited fingerprint evidence suggests the weapon had been wiped clean before or after the shooting. Law enforcement databases linked the weapon's firing pin impression to 2 previous non-fatal shootings in San Bernardino County, one in 2021 and another in 2022. This connection raises disturbing questions about how a gun involved in prior crimes ended up in a car with teenagers at a suburban mall. The most troubling possibility remains that someone deliberately brought the weapon to the mall that day, though the question of who and why continues to elude investigators. The relationships between Nasia and the others in the car that evening reveal a complex social network. While she regularly featured Marcus in her TikTok content as a friend, her interactions with Jamal were limited to 3 previous meetings. The 17-year-old content creator had collaborated with her on videos, suggesting a professional relationship alongside their friendship. Most intriguing is her connection to the second 17-year-old, whom she had known for only 3 months. Friends reported he had expressed romantic interest in Nasia despite her relationship with Dylan. This potential triangle raises questions about underlying tensions that might have existed beneath the surface of their seemingly casual gathering that fatal evening. News of Nasia's death spread across social media platforms with devastating speed. Her final TikTok video, posted just hours before the tragedy, transformed overnight into a digital memorial with over 2 million views and hundreds of thousands of comments. "I can't believe you're gone," wrote one follower. "I just watched your live, and now you're not here anymore." The hashtag Long Live Sia began trending nationally, with tributes pouring in from both casual viewers and fellow content creators. Many fans created video montages of her most memorable moments, sharing how her content had brightened their days or helped them through difficult times. Perhaps most poignantly, her boyfriend Dylan posted a black screen with the caption, "I don't have words right now. I love you forever, Sia." The post garnered over 3 million likes in 24 hours, reflecting the enormous reach of her influence. 3 days after Nasia's death, more than 500 people gathered outside Los Cerritos Center for a candlelight vigil. The crowd, mostly teenagers and young adults who had never met her in person, formed a sea of flickering lights in the same parking lot where she had drawn her final breath. Mourners brought handmade posters featuring her photos and quotes from her videos. "Stay beautiful inside and out," read one sign, referencing her signature sign-off. Purple and white balloons, her favorite colors, dotted the evening sky as attendees released them with written messages attached. Several of Nasia's classmates shared memories, their voices breaking as they described her kindness and infectious laughter. "She made everyone feel special," said one friend. "Even if you were having the worst day, Sia could turn it around with just a smile." As darkness fell, hundreds of phone flashlights illuminated the night, while a recording of her singing played through portable speakers, a haunting reminder of the voice permanently silenced. For Nasia's family, the public outpouring of grief stood in stark contrast to their private devastation. Her mother, who had appeared in countless videos alongside her daughter, became virtually unreachable, retreating from both social media and public life. She lost her only child and best friend in one moment, a family spokesperson explained during a brief press conference. The family declined most interview requests but released a statement thanking supporters and requesting privacy. "Our Sia was more than her TikTok presence. She was our light, our future, our everything." The statement read, "We ask for space to grieve away from cameras." Particularly heartbreaking was the revelation that Nasia's grandmother had been helping prepare her graduation party, scheduled for just 4 months later. Instead, those same careful hands would arrange funeral flowers. The family established a scholarship fund in Nasia's name at Rancho High School, ensuring her legacy would continue through educational opportunities for other young dreamers. This tragedy affected so many lives, both online and offline. Has a similar story touched your community? Have you witnessed how social media can amplify grief and create unexpected support networks? Share your experiences below. Your story might help others processing similar losses or prevent future tragedies. Nasia's tragic death highlights the critical importance of maintaining situational awareness, even in seemingly safe environments like shopping malls. Young people especially should practice active observation of their surroundings, noting unusual behaviors or objects that seem out of place. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it often is. When gathering with friends, establish clear boundaries about acceptable activities and have an exit strategy if situations become uncomfortable. Parents should encourage open communication about who their teenagers are spending time with and where they're going. Consider using location sharing apps with trusted family members when out with new acquaintances. Pay attention to behavioral changes in those around you. In Nasia's case, witnesses reported no obvious tension before the tragedy, but subtle signs might have been present. Watch for unusual nervousness, secretive behavior, or unexplained departures from normal patterns. Remember that safety often depends on recognizing potential dangers before they escalate, a skill that requires practice and conscious effort. The presence of an unregistered firearm in a group of teenagers represents a catastrophic failure of gun safety principles. Parents must have direct conversations with their children about firearms, emphasizing that they should immediately leave any situation where a weapon unexpectedly appears. Young people should understand the non-negotiable steps to take if they encounter a gun. Don't touch it. Leave the area immediately and report it to a trusted adult or authorities. These actions could have saved Nasia's life had anyone recognized the danger in time. Communities can promote safety through education programs that teach firearm awareness without glorification. Schools should consider implementing anonymous reporting systems where students can safely alert administrators about weapons without fear of retaliation. For parents who own firearms, proper storage in locked safes with ammunition stored separately is essential. Statistics show that accessible weapons dramatically increase risk to teenagers, whether through accidents, impulsive decisions, or theft. Nasia's substantial online presence created unique vulnerabilities that today's young people must navigate carefully. While sharing content builds connection, it also broadcasts personal details to unknown audiences. Content creators should avoid revealing specific locations in real time and consider posting about activities only after leaving the venue. Parents of influencers should help establish boundaries between public and private life. Not every moment needs documentation, and some relationships should remain off camera. Regular digital privacy audits can identify oversharing patterns before they create security risks. For those with growing followings, consider establishing a separate phone number or email for content-related communication. Be selective about meeting followers or new contacts in person, and when necessary, choose public locations with trusted friends present. Remember that online popularity can attract both positive attention and potentially dangerous interest. Nasia's case reminds us that even ordinary outings can turn tragic when personal safety takes a backseat to social connection. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to help spread these important safety messages. Your engagement could save lives by reaching someone who needs these warnings. What safety precautions do you practice? Share below and join our community dedicated to protecting vulnerable young people.